What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the Undergrad Forum. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about how to prepare for your med school interview. It's important. You worked hard to prepare a good primary all those years in college. You worked hard on your secondary. You submitted that one, and the school said, good applicant. Let's see how they do. Interview them. And they send you an interview invite. It's like one of the happiest days of your life. You're excited. Oh my God, I'm getting an interview. And then, you go out there. So you are so close to closing this deal, right? You're getting an interview. The only thing that is in between you and an acceptance at this point is one thing: your interview performance. You do well, you're in. You don't do well, waitlist or rejection. Who knows? So you want to do well. How can you do well? Let's talk about it. Number one, preparation, preparation, preparation. Not preparation H, but preparation in the sense of being ready for that interview. And that's twofold. One, you need to research the school. And number two, you need to be ready for some of their questions. You can't be ready for everything, but some things you just need to be thinking about, not memorizing an answer for, of course, but at least having an idea of what you are going to say. This is just like preparing for general understandings of the question. So let's work through that. Number one, research the school. You will invariably be asked, why do you, the applicant, wish to attend our school, whatever school you're interviewing at? And that's a very important question. There are many medical schools in the U.S. I think it's like 120 something. There's like 4 more that recently got added on. I don't know if they're accredited yet. But anyways, there's many schools. So school's going to want to know, why do you want to come to ours? And hopefully you have some reason as to why you clicked that name on your AMCAS in the first place as to why you picked that school. Whatever the reason is, something made you want to go to that school. Whether you had some genius idea as to why you want to go there, or it was just a random click, whatever the situation, you need to come up with a good answer as to why. The first thing you should be doing is, searching their website inside and out. It's simple. Just, learn more about the school, see what special programs they have. Hopefully you did this a bit before applying to all these schools. Maybe you didn't, I don't know. But I don't think most people spend too much time going into it. They just they just go on the school's website, they get a gist, they want to see if they are even interested in going to that school, and if they are, people usually just click on that school's name on the AMCAS, on the primary. Now, when on the interview, you have to go back to that website, and most likely, anyways, you were at that website anyways for the secondary application to that school, because usually they ask you, what is unique about us that you like, or why do you want to come here? They usually ask you that in some formation or in some manner on the secondary application. So this should not be new to you. All you're doing now is going back to the website again and really looking at it, because now this could become a reality. You could go to the school. So let's know what we're getting ourselves into. Know what the school curriculum is like, what the grading system is like, what programs do they have? Do they have joint programs? MD, MPH, MD, MBA, MD, MS, MD, MP, PhD, MD, JD, whatever. Learn about their programs. Do they have some special initiative with technology, with serving underserved communities, with family or primary care? Are they really into research? Are they really into, do they have like an amazing opto clinic? Are the world famous cancer researchers there? Whatever the situation, you want to know what that school has to offer, and then you need to be thinking, how can that apply to me? If you're really big into stem cell research and that school is a powerhouse in stem cell, that seems like a pretty obvious connection. If you're really into, say, primary care, and that school is really into primary care, that's a good, anything that the school has that you like can be one reason of many as to why you wish to go there. So you need to spend time researching and reflecting to yourself, what does a school have that I like? Is it the school? It can even be simple things such as, I like the fact that the school has like a student-run clinic for the underserved that's free. I like the fact that the children, or at least the students in the school, excuse me, have time for a lot of extracurriculars. That it's very student focused. It's a pass-fail system, and it's like very cooperative as opposed to cutthroat. Whatever, or it's ABC, and you like that. Whatever the situation, you need to learn as much as you can about the school, and then ask yourself, why do I want to go here? And the question or the result can be at times, I really don't want to go here. I thought I did, but now that I really think about it, it's maybe not for me. And that's fine. Better to know now than later. Um, but irrespective, you need to be very comfortable with that question as why you want to come here. Because when I do interviews at my school, when I'm interviewing applicants, that's a very important question. And some students really don't have an answer. I've had some people just say, I went here for undergrad and the weather's pretty good. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You could have said a million other things. And then I have some students who have such beautiful answers as to why they want to come, and it truly stands out. So number one, know why you want to go to that school and have don't memorize the answer, but have a few points you're going to highlight, reflect it to yourself, make it a good conversational piece, and make it clear because it's an important point. Number two, let's talk about some basic questions you will be asked. And this can go either way, who knows? You might be asked a simple question as to why do you want to be a physician? If you are, you should know that question easy because you probably wrote it multiple times in many different applications. But another question that most people like to ask, because no one really the question is as to why do you want to be a doctor is kind of overdone, right? I mean, everyone has an answer for it, so why would you want to ask? And it's pretty obvious because most people put it in their primary or secondary somewhere. The more important question to me, and I'll just kind of run you through some of the questions that I've heard over the years and some of my classmates have used, and I like them, is where in your life did you have an experience, a moment, or a set of experiences, or a time that made you think, or it turned on a switch in your mind that said, hey, I want to be a physician? That's a good question that people will usually ask. And if you have a good answer as to maybe it was a specific moment in time, or over the course of years, you started to develop an understanding through several experiences, that's good information because it lets the person know you thought about becoming a physician thoroughly, you have certain experiences that solidified it, and you did things to test yourself to see, do I want to do this? A lot of people like to ask, because everyone does volunteering, everyone does some degree of shadowing, but people get different things out of it. If you're a person, so, and people will ask you, oh, so I see here on your application that you volunteered at such and such location in the ED with some sort of patient population, or you shadowed so and so in such a clinic. Tell me about a patient you saw and what did you learn from it? And if you have never considered that question, that's a scary moment. So I'm giving it to you now. But that's not a bad question. I mean, because people want to know, what did you get out of your experience? If you had a rich experience, okay, say you take two people and you put them in the same experience. One student can have a very rich experience. They learned a lot about patients. They learned some medicine. They had a great mentorship relationship with someone on the team. And another person can be completely oblivious. They went there, they performed the restocking tasks they were asked to do, and they didn't get much out of it. So they want to know, based on your experiences, what did you get out of it? Because that tells them a lot about you as a person. Are you a go-getter? Are you going out there and trying to get experiences and learn and develop yourself as a person, or are you just doing the task passively and not really getting much out of it? Very, very important. So think about the experiences you've had. Sorry, cat. Sorry, my cat's meowing. Think about the experiences that you've had. Think about patients that you've seen. What did you learn from it? Because sharing those stories will give insight into who you are as a person, your character, and like your drive, your passion. And that's something that we really want to see. So bring it out, shine. One thing that I want to mention is that some people have noted to me that they feel very uncomfortable in the medical school interview because you really are talking about yourself. To some degree, it's like you're almost selling yourself or you're trying to highlight points about yourself. And it's understandable. It's not a comfortable thing to do. Most of us just do our thing. We do well sometimes, we do poorly some other times, but irrespective, we live our own lives and we carry on. It's not comfortable to try to show, well, I did this and I did this and look at this and look at what I published here and look at the research I did here, look at the volunteer. It's like, oh, that feels uncomfortable. I don't want to show. I feel like I'm showing off or I'm being, kind of showy. Yeah, that I've heard that before, and it's understandable. That's not comfortable to talk about achievements because it's just not something that we usually do. But this is kind of a required point because, one, it's going to be on your application so they will see it. But second, you do need to highlight these points about yourself because other students will be doing it. And, it's not to show off. It's not to, kind of look what I did here and look I published there and look at, no, that's not what it's for. It's just to say, yeah, I did research. I had a great mentor. We had a group relationship. I learned a lot about basic science. I learned how to think critically. And as a result, the work was solid that I did. We got lucky that it was statistically significant. And I got to work with my PI and I got to kind of work on writing a paper and published it here. So that's one way to say, to explain a publishing, for example, as opposed to saying, oh, yeah, I'm a genius and I published here. No, no, no. Come on. We know you're not a genius. Right? Maybe you are, but who knows? But that's just the point. It's like, don't just tell me you published a paper. That doesn't mean anything to me. Or because that's just empty. Tell me a little bit about the work you did. What did you learn from your research? What did you learn from writing your paper? That's the beauty. What did you get out of it? What was your experience like? That's the richness. So in that sense, you're not showing off. You're giving a person some insight into how you are as a person and what you got out of that experience, or whether it be publishing, whether it be shadowing, whether it be winning scholarships or awards, whatever it be. Give them insight into what you learned from it, what you got from it, as opposed to just saying the title and thinking everyone understands, because it's not clear to many people. So that's another point to consider. Okay, so we talked about, let's do a quick recap. We talked about the fact that you need to be vocal, you need to talk about your achievements, and this is the med school interview, so you need to prepare well and know the school very well, and need to have some experiences and some descriptions of things you've seen while doing your volunteering or your shadowing or whatever, because we want to know the depth, we want to know the details that tells us you got something out of it, you weren't just sitting there passively. Okay, let's see. Anything else? What are we missing? I wish you guys were here. You just tell me what I'm missing. But that seems pretty good for now as to what you can do to prepare for the med school interview. Just some logistic points that I would like to mention. These might be mentioned in other videos, but I'll just mention them now. That you want to get a good night's sleep before. Um, I would recommend staying at a hotel. You can stay with a student guest, whatever you like, but make sure you get a solid night's sleep. Don't try to fly the red eye and come into the school at 8 a.m. It's going to be tough. Get a good night's sleep. You need to be able to think. These interviews are not simple, like getting a job at a small little firm, or that, that has like high school students all the time. No, it's going to be an interview. They're going to ask you tough questions. They're going to ask you thinking questions to be put on the spot. Some questions will be easy, some will be tough. Everything you do during that interview will be evaluated. How you are dressed, how you behave. Are you socially awkward? Are you comfortable to speak to? Did you do something inappropriate? Everything is evaluated, as is during any type of interview. This is not specific for medical school. Any type of business or job interview has these components. So what are you going to do to prepare for these? Well, you go online and you look at forums, and you look at what are students saying about their experiences at the certain medical school that you are going to interview. Did they have a good experience? Was there anything that was troubling for them? Was the shuttle was there always 30 minutes late? You need to get insight into what students are saying on the forums about what their experiences were at the school you're interviewing at. Then go on to business websites and see how people tell you should be interviewing. Should you be holding that kind of leather thing with a yellow notepad and the calculator here? I don't know what's even called. Or should you just be going hands-free? Should you be bringing a briefcase? No. But that's the point. Go on these websites and learn how people are evaluating interviews, and also go on the forums to learn how is the interview going at your school. It could be a classic interview, such that you will interview with a student and a faculty member at the school, or it could be a multiple mini interview in which you have 8 to 10 stations. It's a very unique setting. There's a video we already made about it. Check out the channel about classic versus MMIs. And you need to be prepared for this. So if you are prepared about why you want to go to that school, if you've thought about your experiences and why you want to be a physician and what makes you who you are, and you've also thought about the fact that, okay, let's get the logistics out of the way for the interview, let's get my transportation, I know what I'm getting myself into, I've thought about what a general interview is like. I want to make sure I have good mannerisms, I don't want to be rude, I don't want to be offsetting, I want to be pleasurable. These things are all just a critical part of any type of interview, and you want to do well on them and master them for your med school interview, because this is the last stage before your acceptance. So you might as well do well. And it's fun. I know I'm kind of dragging it on as to all this work you got to do, but it's so much fun. You've worked so hard to get to this point. You should pat yourself on the back. This is just the effort for the last sprint. Excuse me. And so you might as well enjoy it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave some comments below. Send me a message. Share this video with your friends. Much appreciated if you do. And as always, enjoy your studies.